everybody, welcome to BrickVault. My name's Jack. Today we're doing a LEGO collection review. This is going to be all of the LEGO Disney collectible minifigures, at least from the very first series. I haven't opened them up yet, so first I've got to take them out of the bags, then we're going to check out the minifigs. Alright, so here's all the minifigs. There are 18 in total for the collection, but if you look at all these guys a little bit closer, you can see that there's actually not 18, but 19. When I was ripping open all the bags, I saw there was a repeat with Stitch, and I at first became really disappointed and sort of angry, thinking that the distributor had accidentally repeated a minifig, until I did a recount and realized that they actually just sent us an extra Stitch minifig. We got all 18. And before I start talking about these minifigs individually, I'm not going to be going through the prices of these guys, because they're pretty much all the same price, around $3 or $4 or maybe $5. But I will say right in the beginning that the minifigs you're looking at right now, we've got Alien, Genie, Mickey, Mr. Incredible, Stitch, and Syndrome. There are 4 of each of these minifigs included in the big 64 distribution box, whereas the rest of the minifigs had 3. So as time goes on and these minifigs can no longer be purchased from LEGO and they start increasing in value, the ones we're looking at right now will probably be the cheapest ones of this series. Alright, and with that, let's jump into the collection. I guess it is only appropriate that we start with Mickey. The mold for his head is excellent. It almost doesn't look like Lego, but instead just sort of a regular Mickey Mouse toy. But you see he does have a tiny little hole on the top that is fitted for adding some sort of head accessory if you like. The detailing for the legs is definitely the best part of this guy, and you'll notice that there is printing on the sides of the feet. Lego doesn't do this very often, and you'll notice throughout the collection that a lot of these figs have side printing on the feet, and I think that just goes to show that there was definitely a bit more effort put into the designing of a lot of these figures. Now Mickey is nice and all, but he really is very simple. When we move on to Minnie, she has a bunch of really good detailing. Not only are her legs dual molded, but so are her arms. Plus there's some printing around the dual molding of the legs, which looks really nice. She's also got printing on the sides of the feet, and she comes with a special made piece for the skirt, with a matching bow for her hair. So here's the classic Disney couple. You can see the detailing is excellent, and this kind of sets the tone for the whole collection. All the minifigs look great. So let's knock out the next most classic characters. Here is Daisy Duck. At first glance, it doesn't look like there's a ton of great detail really going on, but both the arms and legs are dual molded along with some nice simple printing on the feet. She's got a special made piece just to show her little ducktail, and of course the mold for the head is excellent. And matching up just right here is Donald Duck. He's got a bit more printing on the torso to show his sort of sailor shirt, and no dual molded arms because he doesn't need it, but he does still have those dual molded legs, and the same ducktail of course as Daisy. I think his best part though is the special made hat that he's got. It's an excellent fit, and I think it really ties his whole look together. You can see looking at these two together, the printing is very simple on the bodies, but then again, this is based on pretty simple sort of cartoon work from these classic characters. Alright, I'm gonna move on to one of my favorite minifigs from the series. This is Alice from Alice in Wonderland, and I really don't think they could have got this minifig to look any better than this. The printing on the torso matches up just right with that special skirt piece that they made for her. The white legs are really balanced out with that black printing for the feet. She's got a great hairpiece, a nice simple print for the face, and she comes with 2 awesome accessories. One is the blue bottle that says "Drink Me," and she comes with a nice little green cookie. Her complimentary character in the series is the Cheshire Cat, and on this guy he's got some great stripe detailing. You can see it go all through the chest and on the arms, but what's interesting is how they did the legs. I don't think I've ever seen this on a figure before. This might be the very first time we've had molding like this for the short legs. I could be wrong, but it's not actually printing that we're seeing on those legs. This is a mold. That stripe that goes halfway through kind of by where his knees would be is actually just a different line of plastic. The printing probably would have sufficed, but it does really pay off when you look at the cat from behind. You can see the stripe on the back of the legs where normally printing wouldn't have gone. He's also got an excellent mold for his tail now that we're back here, and like all of these Disney figs, he really does have a perfect mold for the head. Excellent printing, excellent shape, and let's move over to the Aladdin universe. Most noticeable details on this guy that work really well is the mold for his hair and little fez on top of his head. head, and the printing on the bottom of his legs you can see was kind of chosen very precisely. They wanted to include the printing for the patch on his knee, yet the designers probably knew it would look a little bit awkward if they just did toe printing, so they kind of raised that tan printing just to where his shin was. It's a super small detail to point out, but I don't know if they've done this on a figure just at that point, and it just works really well. He comes with, of course, the magical lamp, but part of me was kind of hoping that we got a small mold for Apu. Now, the only real reason I say this is because when we look at the Genie, he also comes with the lamp, so it's kind of a repeat on accessories. But the Genie here looks excellent. He's got a new mold for the bottom half of him, and actually that's not red printing that goes on the mold, but instead it is dual molded. Some nice simple printing on the arms is a very excellent detail to include. He's got an awesome print for the face, and both of those molds on his head are new. This duo look pretty good together, and in the next series you could probably expect Jasmine and maybe Jafar, but it might be kind of funny to get Apu as a sort of a short fig with those short legs. Who knows, that could actually look really bad. I don't know. Anyways, let's check out Toy Story, or Buzz Lightyear. This is one of the few minifigs in the collection that we actually have an alternative Lego minifigure to compare to, and though they're pretty simple, I think I prefer this new collectible version just a little bit more. Whenever there can be a minifigure head used for a human head, I would prefer that, and I'm glad that they did this for the collectible minifigure series, but also the printing for the body just looks a lot better. The legs for the new Buzz Lightyear has printing that just looks excellent from all angles. The points in the middle actually are pretty similar with the torso and the top of the groin piece. That's actually the same printing from the original Buzz, but our new guy has some nice printing on the arms. The mold for the wings and chest are all exactly the same, but underneath the mold of this new Buzz Lightyear there's actually no printing detail. With the original Buzz they had a Starfleet symbol on his chest, and there's even some printing on his back. This is a detail that you're pretty much never gonna see, so I can see why they decided to not do it for this new character. And here is our new alien. I thought he was gonna be exactly the same as the original one that they made for also the Toy Story sets, but he is different. Just a little bit. The Pizza Planet symbol on his chest is just a little bit more cleanly printed. They changed the color of the belt on this guy, and they added just a little bit of toe printing. He almost looks the exact same though. The head mold is the same, but they had to change something up. I mean, he is a collectible minifig. Alright, moving on. Next here is Pan, Peter Pan. I think the most excellent part of this minifig is that the dual molded arms and legs have printing just on the edge there to show the rough and ripped line of his clothes. Also, it adds a little bit more detailing to the boots. His production picture shows him holding silver knives, but in reality he actually comes with gold. Now in the cartoon he had a gold handle and a silver blade, but in the Hook movie he does have a gold blade. Honestly, I'm happy with either colored blade, but it is interesting to note that he does come with gold when the picture in fact shows silver. Now here is the obvious counterpart. We've got Captain Hook. He's got some nice big detailed printing sort of going all over the body and legs. I like his gold fencing sword, but definitely his best part is the mold for the head. It's just so big. He's got big hair, a huge hat, and a nice big feather. This collection came out with a lot of custom molds, but I think this one for Hook is probably my favorite. That being said, here's probably my second favorite though. We've got our evil Ursula from The Little Mermaid, and the mold that makes up her lower half is just done so incredibly well. We've got a bunch of writhing sort of octopus tentacles at the bottom, but it also molds into the body and matches up with the printing just right on the upper half of the torso. To go along with this great mold, we've got this awesome looking hair and one incredibly evil malicious smile. She comes complete with her gold trident, and here is Ariel. There was a mini doll fig made of her in the past, but here we have her in straight minifig form, and she comes complete with a different mold for her fishtail, as well as a new mold for her hair, and some relatively simple detailing that make up the face and body. She's got an accessory which is a clam with a nice big jewel inside, and we're coming up on our last pair of figures. Honestly, this guy could be made as a big fig, but Mr. Incredible does look very good as a minifig. The dual molding for this guy looks really great. I think the super suit here just sort of matches very well to this kind of style. He's got a great piece for the hair as well as this cool accessory in his hand. I think it's a poster that's reminiscent of the superhero heyday from the Incredibles universe, and this would go great as a poster for some sort of mock in a room. I gotta say, the printing for the face does look a little strange. It's always hard to adapt a character that came from a computer animated series, especially ones that are so expressive, and I just don't think he looks particularly recognizable. When we take a look at Syndrome, the printing for the face I think is a little bit better, but it still feels just a little bit different. Syndrome, by the way, has awesome printing. He too comes with dual molded arms and legs, but you can see the silver by the feet that show his special boots, and he's got printing on his arms that are the control pads for all of his gadgets. It's really great how the printing on the legs is actually pretty common, and I don't think that's anything special here, but the designers managed to fit it in so well with the rest of the printing on the torso to make the S. His hairpiece is awesome. It definitely reminds me of those little old troll dolls, and he too comes with an accessory which I think is the control pad that shows the schematics for his super dangerous robot. Now I said these were the last pair of minifigs in the collection, but they're not actually the last minifigs. There are 2 more, and neither of these figs actually have a complementary figure to go along with them. Here is Stitch. I mean, technically we have a pair of these guys, but of course there is no Lilo to go along with him. Not yet, at least. The coloration and printing form are very nice. I especially like the printing for the toes on the bottoms of his feet and the bit of dark squiggly printing on his back and the back of his head. Great mold for his head, by the way. And yeah, he doesn't come with any accessories, so he's probably one of the more simple figs that you can get. And to completely juxtapose that, we've got Maleficent, which might be one of the more involved figs in the entire collection. The robe detailing is very simple but nice and effective, and she comes with a special cape as well as a special collar. It's purple on the inside and black on the outside, and the collar too has a bit of purple on the edges as well. We've got a great mold for those horns on her head, and this is actually kind of a bit of soft rubber. I think the creators might have been a little bit afraid that these horns would break off, and she comes with a nice staff that is all Lego built. So here's the whole collection together, and I for one am really happy with the way that these figures turned out. Collectible minifigures usually come out at a slightly higher quality than your average minifig. There's more detailing and more places, there's a lot more dual molding, as well as just special custom molds to fit those characters. These Disney figs are by no means any exception, and if anything, I feel like there was even more time and more effort and more detail put into these figs than maybe a standard collectible minifigure series. Of course, there's a lot of characters still missing, but you can bet that there's going to be more Disney minifigure collectible series in the near future. Okay, that's it for this episode. Thanks a lot for watching, everybody. Remember, if you enjoy our content, you can always like this video or subscribe. And if you have any ideas about another collection video you want to see in the future, let us know in the comment section below. Thanks a lot for watching. This was BrickVault, and we'll see you next time.